Chapter 4 Framed. When Kaiba returns to Sigvarts, he learns that he has been summoned to court by Emperor Heishin. What's the meaning of this, Heishin? I won't have to put up with your impudence much longer now, Kaiba. Explain yourself. The court will now hear the case against Kaiba for disobeying military orders. Stand up, Kaiba. The court will now hear testimony from Marthis, Governor of Military Affairs for the Imperial Army. Explain Kaiba's crimes to the court, Marthis. As you wish, Your Highness. Even though Lord Kaiba was given charge of the Imperial Guard and tasked with protecting the life of the Emperor, during the battle at Eno, I witnessed Kaiba meeting and having secret discussions with a member of the Resistance. His actions are a violation of Article 15, Paragraph 2 of the Imperial Military Regulations. The same regulations call for the execution of any person convicted of subverting the rule of our great Emperor. I ask that he be punished in strict accordance with the law. There's your explanation, Kaiba. Do you have anything to say for yourself? What a farce. This is so absurd, I don't even feel like addressing the charges. I'm fed up with your insolence. You seem to have let the fact that you do well in the battlefield go to your head. So, Marthis, you were just looking for dirt on orders from Heishin, is that it? But you needed an excuse to get rid of me legally. Now I see why you were so useless on the battlefield. What a perfect role for a wretch like you. Heishin knew he couldn't leave the army in your incompetent hands. He may be a useless old bag of bones, but he certainly found the right job for you. You're the one making deals with the Resistance. You never won on the battlefield. The whole thing was a setup. Only someone totally inadequate on the battlefield would come up with a story like that. Both of you keep quiet. This is still my court. Kaiba, I will now pass judgment. You will be stripped of your rank as leader of the Imperial Guard and executed at noon on the day after next. Your execution will be public. It will be a good reminder. That is all. Any last words for yourself, Kaiba? Nope. Other than to say that I'd like to open your skull and see just how much brain matter you're missing. At least I know that I won't have to put up with your insubordination much longer. Don't get too happy. The excitement might be too much for your old heart. I'm sure a heart attack would be painful, even if you are just a program. Take him away! I'm too rich to die! Psst, Seto, over here! You're here. Good. Is everything ready? Yep, Bone says he wants to come with us. We've got a way out past the guards. Our escape from Sigvarts is all set. Good. Let's get going then. It wasn't easy, but Kaiba and company managed to escape from the capital and elude their pursuers. How did he do it? Because he's Seto Kaiba, that's how he did it. One person, however, was prepared for their escape. Marthis was waiting for them at Uravi Canyon. Red 2 standing by, all four lit and in the green. Welcome back to YuGiOh the Falsebound Kingdom, and this is why Marthis is our joke character. Because he's basically taken out of the game permanently. We are on the run from the Empire, and Marthis is our adversary. We are going to be facing Marthis, and let's face it, I don't think he's coming out of this battle alive. I'll keep Water Girl's items just in case she comes in handy, which she usually will, but Kaiba's got a pretty solid team there. So, we have some pretty good teams available to us, but we just have the desperate battle to go. This one should be fairly quick, and we actually have a new monster to find. We will need a unit with a fairly large circle, though. So, I will try and find that, and we will get rolling. Kaiba, you traitor! You are completely surrounded! If you give up now, I may spare your life. As if I would ever believe that promise from you. The answer is no. I will never give in. Stop acting so tough, we have you vastly outnumbered. Do you really think you stand a chance? You're too arrogant for your own good. That's what I hate most about you, Kaiba. You have no respect for the Emperor's authority and rule. You're right. I have no respect for that old sack of bones. Why don't you shut up and attack already? I'm looking forward to yanking out that tongue of yours. You asked for it. Attack! I'll reward the man that captures Kaiba whatever he wants. So we have to control all enemy positions. Let's see, who's coming in hot? Ground troops. I need to go... let's see, which one's Bazon? That's us. I need to send somebody northwest after these enemies are defeated. Bones... sit out. Mokuba can take first watch. Oh boy. We have plenty of enemies coming in hot and they're all flyers. Ah, damn it. But we've got 2 dragons, so we basically have to fend off a barrage of enemies, take that position out in the west, and then we'll be able to take on Marthis. We'll watch his troops utterly collapse. Let's position the camera as I like to do. Now, this is a pretty tough fight, but if you have good experience, you will be able to handle this very well. And Baby Dragon goes down. Seto Kaiba is probably watching, thinking, as expected of a pathetic dragon owned by Joey Wheeler. Even when Wheeler's not here, he's pathetic. So Mokuba can take the next watch, and then we'll have Kaiba take out a couple of enemies along the way. I do need to go and find that other monster. Let's see. That might... Yes, that does do Blackluster Soldier. Amazing work! What do we expect from one of the most powerful ritual monsters of the early days? There were so many absolutely crazy ritual monsters released over time because ritual summoning was probably one of the hardest ones to do. And most of them weren't that practical. They gradually got a bit better. I'll try and fit in a few more profiles if we've got repeat battles because we actually have some new Marshals coming in. Yes, as it turns out, Pegasus and Labyrinth Ruler will join our cause. They come in to help us as Resistance commanders, and Blackluster Soldier isn't getting to do anything. So they'll be able to help us out, so we'll meet their monsters. Now, it is entirely possible to wipe out all these enemies before they wind up getting here, in which case, Pegasus will have different dialogue. But he will still join your cause. Well done, Mokuba. Okay, so after the next one comes in... Alrighty, nice. We can easily wipe out Ryukishin Pound, and then we can start putting in profiles because the other teams are the same. This looks tough, but ultimately, if you play your cards right and you get the healing equipment in, you will be able to handle this pretty well. Keep switching your teams out, basically. That's the most important thing. Rotate who's on watch and who's doing all the fighting, and you'll be fine. And that missed. There we go. Another one bites the dust. And the penguin misses. Oh well. Electricity is super effective against water, which is even the case in YuGiOh, because monsters with the thunder alignment let's call it alignment to differentiate it from attributes. Thunder alignment, strong against water alignment. That was covered towards the end of Yugi's story. It's very fiddly, but you know what? I would love to play Sacred Cards someday for this channel. Maybe I can do it as a bit of a side project somewhere along the way. I mean, it does take a lot of grinding. But we can get some pretty decent cards in that. And there are some really, really strong ones that might surprise you. For example, if you want to tribute summon monsters, what was just a basic normal monster, Doron, is really good. Because it basically summons another copy of itself. Incredibly handy. And Axe Raider chooses to wait. Fire Emblem Weapon Triangle, Sword Speed Axes. And there we go. Let's get into the profiles for our new allies. Bikuri Box's international debut and only appearance was in Metal Raiders. In Japan, it debuted in Booster 7, then reappeared in their version of Metal Raiders. Bikuri Box's name would best translate to Surprise Box, and its story certainly is surprising. In the anime and manga, Bikuri Box was a normal monster which also served as a toon card during Pegasus' duel with Kaiba. For whatever reason, like a few other monsters such as Barox, it was turned into a fusion monster on release, with its fusion material monsters not being remotely connected to toons. Crass Clown and Dream Clown wind up fusing to create Bikuri Box, and we don't know why. While pretty average in the card game, it actually becomes very powerful in this game. Parrot Dragon made its international debut in Tournament Pack 2 before reappearing in the Legendary Collection Kaiba Mega Pack. In Japan, it debuted in Booster 6. Parrot Dragon accompanies Dark Rabbit and indeed Bikuri Box as one of Pegasus' pseudo-turn monsters in the Duelist Kingdom arc. It's not really spectacular in the card game, though it is every bit as serviceable as Curse of Dragon in all fairness, and mostly exists as a curiosity, but this will serve as a very, very capable monster in this game. Interestingly, Parrot Dragon did not actually get to demonstrate the power of Pegasus' toon monsters, as Pegasus used it while fooling around and goading Kaiba with deliberate bad play. Kaiba used the spell Mesmeric Control to help defeat it, and then Pegasus started playing seriously. Dark Rabbit made its international debut in Stardust Overdrive. In Japan, it debuted in Volume 5 and also appeared in Pegasus Starter Deck. This monster most likely pays homage to Pegasus' favourite cartoon character, Funny Rabbit. Pegasus was extremely knowledgeable about Funny Rabbit's cartoons, so it's no surprise there's a monster based on it. It is not considered a toon monster in the card game, but served as such in the anime due to the inspirations of its creator. There's also a bit of Bugs Bunny and Roger Rabbit in the overall design of this monster. As a final note of interest, when this monster was released, it was the first time in 3 years a normal monster had been a rare. Just goes to show how much the game has changed. Shadow Ghoul made its international debut in Metal Raiders and reappeared twice more. In Japan, it debuted in Volume 6, but appeared a bit more often. Shadow Ghoul and its associated monsters have undergone quite a few changes. In the manga, this was a level 4 normal monster. It became a level 5 effect monster with a reasonable power-up in the actual card game. Wall Shadow was a fusion monster. Somehow it became an effect monster which required the otherwise useless magical Labyrinth equip card to summon. And Labyrinth Wall went from, I think it was effectively a field spell, to being a pretty solid defensive monster. Also, Wall Shadow is actually a warrior, despite being made from a zombie type, this monster, and a rock type, Labyrinth Wall. A very, very odd result indeed. Dark Chimera has never made an international appearance. In Japan, it debuted and made its only appearance there in Volume 7. Now, normally Dark Chimera would be utterly forgettable due to making only one appearance at a time when it was thoroughly outclassed.
It really wouldn't have been Flash even with its manga stats of 2100 attack and 1600 defense. It would have been passable, but not much. As it stands, Dark Chimera is one of only 7 monsters to have one of its stats not divisible by 50 and one of 4 with both stats fitting that particular criterion. Those 4 and King of Yamimakai were all used by Panic. Interestingly enough, the monsters were tweaked a bit from the manga, and their stats changed due to the way the field power bonus worked. It was a little unusual and created these weird stats. Zanki has never made an international appearance. In Japan, it debuted and made its only appearance in Volume 7. Zanki might have been completely outclassed on appearing in the card game, to the point that even a fairly cool name, translating as Demon Slayer the Armored Warrior, couldn't save it from being consigned to the dustbin of history. In this game, however, Zanki can be extremely dangerous, living up to that flavor text about dealing fatal damage. It might take a little while, but its attack and action points can really add up, especially when you factor in it gets Castle Adept, which makes it a very capable monster. Put Zanki in the hands of a top-notch Marshal, and devastating attacks by the truckload will follow.
Ah, there we go, we've found it! Gamma the Magnet Warrior! So we now have all 3 Magnet Warriors if somebody wants to go on a team. So I'll be able to put up the data of... Now we've seen these enemies before. So it's just another team like that. So I will put in the information about Gamma, and since we can use it, Valkyrion. Let's go, Kaiba.
Gamma the Magnet Warrior. Would you believe me if I said this monster debuted in the same fashion as Alpha and Beta did in the TCG and the OCG? No? Too bad, you have to because it did. Gamma has the best defense of the original 3 Magnet Warriors, at a serviceable 1800. It's probably the best bet if you have to stall for a little while to find its companions. All the Magnet Warriors are classed as machines in this game, which gives the trio access to the particularly useful equip item, Shock Shell, which is capable of shutting down opposing special attacks, item usage, guarding, whatever you want, it can lock it down. As I've said for the other 2, the 3 share the same flavor text, which makes sense but is also lazy. And you might also notice that I've been a little bit lazy in making sure all 3 of them share the same ending as a nice little in-joke. Armored Zombie made its international debut in Metal Raiders and appeared a couple of times after. In Japan it debuted in Volume 5, 4 sets before Zanki, oddly enough. Armored Zombie, as you may have guessed, is an undead Zanki, one of the original 3 zombie counterparts revived by the powerful effect of Call of the Haunted in the anime. While it remembers something of its swordplay, it lacks any preservation instinct and can only attack fiercely and blindly. While average in the card game, in this game it can deliver attacks which paralyze foes, leaving them helpless before a barrage of allied attacks. It's an absolutely fantastic investment and goes really well on pretty much any team. As with Dragon Zombie, I stick it on Bones' team and away I go.
Alright, it is time to go and battle Marthis. I don't know where Pegasus is, but he's taking his time. But because we are Seto Kaiba, we've managed to smash our way through the enemies pursuing us. And I've been able to set up some pretty solid teams. This will be a bit of a toughie the first time, and Pegasus will likely get you out of a jam. But at the moment, we can just pretty much waltz on up and take on Marthis as we like. We have secured our position. It's time to put that snivelling toady in his place. We will hopefully find some more monsters later on, but we'll get to that in due time. Let's do battle. No! Stay back, I say! Don't come near me! And of course, as soon as he doesn't have the upper hand, he's a complete
coward. So I'm going to rough him up a little bit. Now, I don't, judging by my use of the illusionist the illusory gentleman, I don't think it will have the ability to blind us just yet. No, it doesn't. But I don't want to kill his team just yet. I want to soften them up just a little bit. You might remember where this is going. Does he have any healers? Let me check if he's got healers. He's got no healers. You might know where this is going if you remember what I've been setting up. You might, but we are about to do a very Seto Kaiba move. So, we do have to watch out for that one because later on, Reaper of the Cards will get the ability to cause confusion with its attack. Ah, yes. Alright, yes, use your mace or whatever it is. It's the power of Link's body spray of that you do not want to wind up going into the boys' change room in the high school. It's visible in there. The deodorant was visible. Oh yeah, now let's do this. Soul of Obelisk. Because Seto Kaiba has no time for chumps, and he will make it clear that he is so much more powerful. And we get the funky battlefield now. They'll get a chance to attack. Now, Obelisk's level depends on your team. Same deal with its AP. As you can see, it's level 37. The maximum its stats can be are 9999. So, we automatically get the Slap of Doom. Oh yeah, how's all that working out for you, Marthis? Try all you like. You cannot defy the power of the gods. I know what it's like to be hubristic, but I have the power now. And I will slap you into oblivion. And you can see the little hand floating right at the top of Obelisk. That little oh, 2 criticals. Gee, Obelisk does not mess around. Don't taunt the gods. And there we go. A very Seto Kaiba move. That's what Obelisk can do. Ah! Goodness, my boy. You've already finished them off. There's nothing left for me to do.
Pegasus, what are you doing here?
I heard about your trial in Sigval's and rushed her. Okay, Pegasus, you realize you're going to get arrested for that? Dude, seriously, that's not cool. Rush here, don't rush her. That's wrong, mate. That's just wrong. I heard about your trial in Sigval's and rushed here as quickly as I could. Unless he is referring to the capital city of Sigval's as her, which would be very strange. But it looks like I am too late. More likely you are far too quick.
I didn't need your help. Marthis was never a match for me.
You're now being chased by the Empire because you were seen talking to me. How very unlucky.
It doesn't matter. I wasn't fighting for the Empire anyway.
Haha! So my feelings about you were right.
Wait. What feelings have you?
Don't talk about that, Kaiba boy. It's really not important right now. But none of that matters now. You cannot return to the Empire. It will be impossible for you to accomplish your goals by yourself. The Emperor will send the Imperial Guard after you. Why don't you join my resistance? We can help.
Not that again. Thanks for the offer, but I don't like working for others.
You dismissed my offer too hastily, my friend. I want you to be the leader.
What?
I may be a marshal, but I'm not an experienced fighter. I've been looking for a skilled new leader to help me defeat the Empire. I think you're perfect for the job. If you'll join us, I'll happily give up the mantle of leadership to you. Why? I don't want the people of my land, or anywhere on this continent, to suffer anymore. The world could be a beautiful place, man and monster living in peace. But the trash needs to go first. I'm happy to lend my strength to help accomplish that goal. I know that you have your own goals, but you cannot accomplish them on your own. You need help. You'll have that. I have a feeling that when you accomplish your goals, I will also accomplish my own. I do truly want to help. Okay, I will lead your army, but you'll get no thanks from me. We're both getting something we want. Of course, haha! The resistance is more powerful than ever now. Both my man, Labyrinth Ruler, and I will fight for you as marshals. Please, give us a chance. And trust me, Pegasus' team is good. Labyrinth Ruler can be pretty good, but Pegasus is handy. We will, of course, get a bit more to grips with him in the next one. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.